I'm walking around near my home in Vršac, Serbia, and I just noticed something. A bridge I cross every day over the Mesic. It's a German-built canal. It has these iron railings on it, and on these railings it looks like a frame where a plaque used to be. I'm gonna walk around now and cross a bunch of bridges until I find one that's still intact. I'm curious what this plaque would have said. Aren't you? Okay, so I'm just following along the Mesic here, and we're coming up now to another bridge, another railing, and it looks like, again, there's a frame for a plaque here. Oh, wow. Look at this, 1882. That's back when Vršac was part of Austria-Hungary, and that is Hungarian up there at the top. It says Reșița iron. Now, Reșița is in Romania, across the border. But back in 1882, Romania and Serbia, same country, Austria-Hungary. I've never been to Reșița. Perhaps a road trip is in order. All right, fast forward a few weeks. I'm doing it. Driving into Romania to check out this steel town. One of many things to love about Romania is that as soon as you cross, the storks appear. I don't know why there's not so many on the Serbian end, but the instant you cross over, I've already seen about 30 storks. And on my right, as I head east, are the hills of Vršac, the town I just left. So the drive today from my place in Vršac is about an hour and 20 minutes. And just like that, I've reached Reșița. And check out this Ceausescu-era communist border monument. You can find them throughout Romania. It's another one of my favorite things about Romania. They often mark the boundaries of cities and counties. They're not going to be around forever. They're not maintained. And from this giant gear, we can be assured that Reșița is an industrial city. Not too many meters down from the communist border marker, great view of the city. Population of Reșița is under 60,000. Just checked into my Airbnb. I'm here for 7 nights. And this is the view from my balcony. And at some point, I'm gonna hike up to the top of that hill there. By that sign. So I'm living right near the center, and from what I've seen, there's a lot of communist era buildings. Check out this sports complex. Metal sculpture on the other side as well. Yeah, so this is the dead center of town. So much socialist modernism. Look at this, I'll do a 360. A plaque here naming locals who died during the 1989 Romanian Revolution. So yeah, the pedestrianized town center, very, very socialist modernist. I just realized the sign at the top of that hill, it's a giant gear. Just like we saw at the communist border marker. My landlord said I must go to Reșița pub. That's where I'm going. Couldn't tell me where any Romanian food was though. I couldn't find anything online. There's not much about this city online, it seems. And this is their burger. Okay. Good morning, good afternoon. It's 2:30. It was a late night last night. So yesterday, took a little walk through the city center, one of the three neighborhoods. Today we're going to cross the river, the Brzava River, into Old Reșița, which is also home to Reșița Works, the oldest factory in Romania. So this city is a very long city. It snakes along this river, the Brzava River. This pedestrian bridge was built in 1937. So this used to be the Palace of Culture, designed 1949, 1950, post-war reconstruction, not in the best shape. It was converted to a theater at some point. And here's a statue of a man holding underwear. In the middle of the industrial center, we have a synagogue. 1907. Google Maps says permanently closed. So this factory, to which Reșița owes its existence, was founded July 3rd, 1771 by the Habsburg Empire under Maria Theresa. Back then, the Habsburg Empire ruled the Banat. Banat is a historical and geographical region that is now shared by Romania, Serbia, a little bit of Hungary. Now Vršac, where I just drove from, that's in Banat. And this city, Reșița, is also in Banat. That's why the bridges in Vršac got its steel from this town. Same country back then. And here's the St. Mary of the Snows Catholic Church, constructed from 1846. According to Google Maps, this is a former blast furnace. Former blast furnace number 2. During socialist Romania times, Reșița Works was split into 2 entities. Reșița Steelworks, which was CSR, and Reșița Machine Building Plant, which was UCM. Now the Steelworks was ultimately purchased after the Romanian Revolution by a German subsidiary of a Russian company headquartered in Moscow. Now it's called TKM Reșița. And the machine building plant was purchased by a Swiss company. Now, the Swiss company here employs about 2,500 people. The steelworks, before the Romanian Revolution, had about 10,500 employees. Now they have about 800 employees. And here's an Orthodox church. A lot of churches in this factory part of town. All right, I've just done a U-turn. I saw a museum down the road, a museum of industry. If I see anything interesting there, you will too. This abandoned building was once the Cantina restaurant. Legend has it that in the late 1880s, metal produced here in Reșița was sent to France to use in building the Eiffel Tower. Kebab. Kebab. Let's do a kebab. I just walked around to the side of the former House of Culture, and it is still in use. It's the Yaya Club. This is an interesting World War II monument here. Well, because there's a cross, I don't think it was put up during socialist Romania times, but there's a plaque here in German on the side. It says, "In memory of the victims of deportation to Russia, 1945 to 1950. And because it is in German, I presume these victims are Germans. They were German citizens of Romania. When Russia took over land during World War II, often the Germans were shipped out to Russia as part of war reparations. Civilians, Germans who maybe had nothing to do with the war. Back in the center, West Reșița Theater, completed 1929. So this is the museum, and I just took the tour. I'm going to show you a couple of things from inside while I talk. But Russia does not own the steelworks anymore. Since the Ukraine war, it was sold to a Serbian company, which they believe is still working with Russia. Also, I told you 2,500 employees for the Swiss-owned machine building plant. I think I told you 800 for the then Russian-owned steelworks. Now he thinks, Andre thinks it's around 500 employees for the Serbian company, and maybe less than 100 for the Swiss one. The machine building plant may be going out of business. And Reșița is trying to rebrand itself as, an artistic city. So the factory is actually, among other things, producing works of art now, which I thought was interesting. So yeah, while I was talking, you're just looking at different scenes from the museum. I especially like the posters demonstrating what happens if you do not adhere to safety rules. Safety first. Andra pointed to a place on a map where he said I'd get a nice view of the steelworks factory, so I'm driving there now. Well, here's the view. Take it in. There's a museum of the amateur filmmaker that is built into a former projection room. And you can visit it by appointment only, but I just called the guy and he said, come by, he'll meet me in 10 minutes. If it's interesting, you'll see a bit. How many cameras?
160.
160. We'll say it's the largest collection in Romania. Romanian-made projectors. The size of them. Andre for scale. Yeah, look at that.
These
Who's that? Oh, you're doing good.
yeah. So you can go forward, you can go faster forward, and then you can go back. Tomorrow in Ochko, you should see.
On the way home through what is affectionately known as the Rape Tunnel, I'm sure. Happy Sunday. I'm finishing this third coffee, and then I'm gonna climb to the top of that hill over there. And so it begins. It's about 200 stairs to the top. The trail is about 400 meters long, and the total ascent is about 110 meters. This bridge that you can see through a lot of the city center was used to transport limestone to the factory. Limestone is used to transform iron ore into steel. Andre of the two museums yesterday mentioned that they might turn this bridge into something for the civilians. Not sure what, but maybe something like Highland Park in New York. I don't know if you can see it, but these steps are slanted downward, like back up against the way you're climbing. And they're also slanted to the side, to where the hill slopes. And here it is, the view from the top. That's the Civic Center, the Socialist Modernist Civic Center. And if you keep following the river all the way to the end, that patch of city is another neighborhood, the third one. We haven't gone to there yet. It's like New Reșița. That was entirely designed under Socialist Romania as well. And then to the right, you can't really see it well here, but to the right of the bridge, that's Old Reșița, where the factory is, where we went yesterday. And there's the brand new building my apartment is in. And the sign here that I was just standing on says UCM Reșița, founded 1771. UCM, that's one of the two entities that Reșița Works split into. So I'm guessing the UCM entity paid for this sign. So my landlord was telling me that the Reșița Stairs Challenge just took place last week, and the fastest climb from bottom to top was 3 minutes and 8 seconds. I just took about 7 minutes. And you can see a car up here. So you don't have to walk up to the top. You can drive through the village Doman. And every year, the custom rock festival is held here, up here at the top. After this, I'm thinking I deserve some day drinking. And here again is that bridge that carried the limestone to the steelworks. Back in the Civic Center. Look, a monument to an old cell phone. The monument to the cell phone is right outside the Croatian consulate here. Let's try another bar. Heading back into Old Town, looking for a haircut. Okay, so made an appointment for a Romanian steel town haircut tomorrow. With all this free time, I'm gonna walk about an hour here in Old Town to a cemetery where I'm hoping to see some old stones, pre-Romania days. So this area has some of the oldest houses in Reșița, where I drove up to, which is where the cemetery is, a couple days ago to see the view of the town. Old Slovak houses. Yeah, some 200 Slovak families settled here in 1846. And the houses they built are the oldest in the city. And it's back in Habsburg Empire days. I'm on Beethoven Street. And here's the entrance to the cemetery. So it took about 35 minutes of walking. Not bad. It is 80 degrees out though. And I am walking uphill. Oh, found the first German names right here in the front at the entrance. It has pictures. Johann Fischer, born 1881, died 1935. I presume his wife, Jani Fischer, 1904 to 1943. And then I guess their daughter, Katharina Fischer. She died in 1964. Okay, I'll just walk around for a bit and show you a few stones. See what the oldest stone is that I can find. Here's another Johann, died 1928. Joseph, a Hungarian stone. And this guy died 1915, born 1850. Oh, look at this, an iron sarcophagus. Found the record breaker so far. This guy died in 1898, and the writing on the stone is in German. Lots of German names. In fact, mostly German names. I think I'm in what is called cemetery number 2. And I haven't seen any intricately designed stone. Everything is rather austere. Spoke too soon. Here's a nice sculpture. Let's check out inside here. We did it. Time to try to find some Romanian food. This area is known as the Row area, and it's formed from the workers' dwellings built during the middle of the 19th century. And as you can see, it's on the slopes behind the blast furnace. And this consists of various origins. There's not just Slovaks, there's Czechs and Germans, and they settled here in connection with the construction and expansions of the steelworks. It's a salad soup. Ciorbe de salata something, something, something. And now for a Balkan haircut. Haircut done. What do you think? So now I'm gonna check out the third neighborhood. I haven't been there yet. New Reșița. New Reșița is also known as North Reșița or Brzava's Meadow. This neighborhood was entirely built after 1965 under socialist Romania. Look at that coming up. A communist mosaic. I'd expect nothing less from a neighborhood built by socialist Romania. What's the date there? 1981. This is on the side of a high school. They also call this neighborhood Govandari. I think I said that right. So this is a socialist modernist building, the Museum of Mountainous Banat. Let's see if it's open. This building was completed in 1987. The guard just told me. Here are some photos of the blast furnaces in operation at the end of the 1800s. And now, a photo from the communist period. This Romanian Heroes Monument was erected in 2008, and it's by the same sculptor who built the 1984 kinetic fountain in the Civic Center. I see a restaurant called American Food. It was like no burger I've ever had before. I'll leave it at that. Cinema Dacha. It was completed in 1963, and I just read that it has the biggest movie screen in all of Romania, outside of in Bucharest. There's live music going on in here right now. Now you know what the biggest screen in Romania outside of Bucharest looks like. You're not allowed to take photos in there. A couple people they yelled at me. Yeah, I know. I think we get the idea. Heading back to the car, moving on. Welcome to the largest open-air railway museum in all of Europe. The Reșița factory produced 1,491 steam locomotives. The last one they produced was 1964. After that, they moved to diesel and electric locomotives. There are 16 in this museum. This one's from 1935, year of my father's birth. So this is what was going on back then. And here it is, the main attraction of the museum, the star of the show. They're calling it Romania's first steam locomotive. Per the sign, it was built in 1872, which of course, as we know, this area was not part of Romania back then. So I guess we should say this is the first steam locomotive built on the territory of what is today's Romania. Still pretty cool. It's named the Reșița. So I was just minding my own business, driving to the center, and I noticed out my window this communist statue. You know what this is? You remember the other golden statue I showed you in front of that abandoned building, Magazine Universal? He had men's underwear in his right hand and a turbine in his left hand held up high. So that statue and this statue were part of the same sculptural ensemble, let's call it, erected on the 200th anniversary of Reșița work, so in 1971. At some point, the city must have decided to disassemble the monument and scatter the statues. I'm going to put up a picture now of the original monument. Everything will become clear to you then. Yeah, look at that. FYI, this is the kinetic fountain I was referring to earlier in New Reșița. So this fountain was built by the same guy that built the Romanian Heroes Monument. This fountain was put up in 1984. Fountain, you might have asked, and that's why I brought it up again. They're repairing it. So this morning I'm driving about a half an hour outside the city toward a national park, hopefully for some lakeside coffee. Here's the lake. I just gotta find coffee. Now the rumor I heard back in the city is that the mayor of Reșița owns this place. So the village I've been driving around, the same one with the lake, the one that has no coffee at all whatsoever, was called Franzdorf back in the day. It was founded in 1793 by some 300 Austrians from the Salzkammergut region. I love that area in Austria. This church, can't find a name on it, can't find a name on the map either, but I'm gonna say it was built under the Habsburg Empire days, so it would be Roman Catholic. In the great city of Reșița. Now we know. If you want to leave the city, BYOC. Here's a hydroelectric power plant completed in 1909. It's still functioning. This is Kraft Burger's King Burger with a waterfall of cheddar cheese. Last full day in Reșița. That squeaky new building, that's where I've been staying. I wonder if I can get inside the sports hall here. This is City Hall, by the way. I've shown it to you. I don't think I mentioned it. And attached to City Hall is a county hall. There's a video game museum not so far from here, about 9 minutes walk. Kind of looks like an arcade from the pictures. I think for my last full day in this city, I'm gonna play video games. After coffee. And we'll call it a wrap. This is how the entrance to an arcade should be. The real Sega, the Romanian copy of Sega, the real Atari, the Romanian copy of Atari. So this room is where dead arcade machines come to be resurrected by Andre. Well, now you've learned everything I've learned about Reșița. Interesting place. Visit for the socialist modernist architecture and the industrial landscape. Don't go for bars. There are none. Don't go for Romanian food, very difficult to find for some reason. Heading to Timișoara now, I understand some friends are descending upon the city from Serbia and different parts of Romania to throw me a welcome back from Reșița party. How about that? Just entered the town of Buzău. And thanks to its healing springs, this town was once one of the most famous bathing places in all of Hungary, and then Romania. It was known as the Pearl of Banat. I'm gonna stop the car real quick and just take a very fast walk, see how the town's doing these days. They have an airport-themed restaurant here. So for around 2 centuries, medical tourism has been the basis of Buzău's economy. Let's take a peek through the broken windows of this mansion. And the most famous thing to see here, I guess, now is this 1/2 kilometer long wood-lace colonnade that was built by Emperor Franz Joseph in 1875 for Empress Sisi to enjoy her strolls around the park. Empresses like to be shaded by wood lace. You know. Ooh, another abandoned hotel along the path of this colonnade. Check it out. Okay, we'll take the colonnade back to the car and continue onward to Timișoara. This is a picturesque town I'm driving through. It's known as the home of the Donauschwaben, the Danube Swabians. Ethnic German-speaking population from back in the Kingdom of Hungary days. Arrived Timișoara. I'm going to spare you the details about this city because you already know everything there is to know about Timișoara because you've seen the video that I made a couple months ago. I'll put a link to it in the description below in case you want to watch it again. McDonald's advertising their chefs. Fancy, what a fancy town. And if you haven't seen my Timișoara video, you really should. This is one of my favorite cities in all of Europe. So here's home sweet home for the weekend. That's a nice open shower, and check out the bathtub. Oh, good. Okay, there's a downstairs bathroom as well. I was getting worried. And a washing machine.
See, oh, I like it.
The Wolf of Icarus. Is that what you said? This is the welcome back from Reșița party that I was telling you all about.
And you can just, look it up.
Well, we better get going.
Yes,
We better get going.
Every sour should be with a white.
Say something sexy. It's for ads.
Get behind this car right over here. You'll get your McDonald's. There you go. Just stand in line. Yep. Oh, no, forward. Okay.
Here we go.
What's wrong? What don't they have? Tell me what went on.
They don't have anything for us because we don't have a car.
You need a car to order?
Yeah.
You need a car before they... No, they've served me.
But
They've served me without a
what's
car.
the definition of a car? Maybe we can
For
form
them
a
to
car.
be wheels or
Maybe
something like
Yasmina
that.
and I can sort of get on the ground
Yeah,
and you guys can hop on
you
and...
can try to be the wheels, right?
That's really weird though,
So
right?
if you go back and
They
say,
won't...
And it was dedicated to Luka Radjic because in his tours.
Jovana's calibrating. From now on, she will never get disoriented in Timișoara. She's touched the Bega River. You eat this. What's it called?
Bagram.
Bagram. One, two, three.
That looks great.
Happy Easter. Magical.
I thought it was a photo.
Magical. It is a photo. Chickashore. Yasmina, tequila flavored beer to JCPenney.
To JC.
To JCPenney.
To JCPenney.
To JCPenney.
So look at vertical.
Ti jednu ruku tu, jednu ruku na nju.
It's a little
njenu
behind the
glavu,
scenes.
to je to.
I think the
Okay,
a
hoćeš
this
pa
is
dole
the-
možeš.
this is the part of it.
Mislim da si ti jače da budeš.
Spusti dupe dole. Spusti dupe dole.
Yeah, look up, look
Ne
up.
ruke.
Majse.
Thank you, Petra.
We got Flareon.
Did we win? We won? We won?
Flareon, yeah.
Nice. Nice.
Oh.
Yeah, recording.
And there it is. I've told them everything I know about. Where did I just come from? Reșița. There it is. Okay, bye. That's what 10 days in Romania could look like. 7 of them in Reșița. Just picked up my new SodaStream CO2 cylinder. The real reason I came into Romania. And heading back home to Vršac, where the show started. See you next time.